you guys spread out, and I'm done with Jill.
I just got Hi Fred. That's my last name.
What was it again?
Hi Fred.
Hi Fred?
Friend.
Friend.
That's my last name. Seth Friend.
Do you have a gym friend in there?
I do. My uncle, my great
Is he
uncle,
Pat?
Jim. Yeah, he does that.
Okay. I need to know if he's alive or gone.
No, he's alive.
Yeah, because then we had his name if he's Pat. If that makes sense. Sorry, I don't mean to be so crude
No, you're good.
brash, but I have to know. So I'm not going to call that other than the name friend showing up.
Hi,
like,
friend.
Yeah. So I'm going to... So I don't normally... By the way, I don't care if it's male or female, the words that you're hearing, because I heard somebody else comment about that. It's about the message. So I don't write down friend male voice. I just write down friend. So obviously that's what I'm going to specifically. All right, let's spread out. You're going to stick with me. Yeah. I'll bounce around with all of you. Let's get those video cameras started. You've already hit your record button. All right, so let me show you how to use that thing.
I don't put this on.
Yes, you can definitely unmute it. Just tap that button.
It stays unmuted until you stop again.
Yeah, so I'll bring it together, and if it's too much of a distraction, I'll do this one. No, I don't. You got locals and stuff. I think we have another one. Yeah. Alright, so go ahead and open up already. And then I'm looking for the ELP in this location. The each new space, I kind of give you like what we're looking for and what I found in. So let's see if we can. That's usually the only one right here. Everything else is okay. Your camera, Marty, just so you know, I don't always follow up in real time because the camera's so damn small. I put it up on YouTube so I can watch it on a big computer screen, and that way you guys can watch it on your TV screens. So if it feels like I'm following up with everybody else more so than the small cameras, that's why.
Okay.
What do you got? Nick.
Yeah. I said, where did you die? I heard on the hill.
Should jump.
Kind of. It's wow. I mean, I get that it's, you know, kind of a phrase for us, like died on the hill, but it's very interesting of the exact location, like the city of where she died, and you're getting that phrase. So it's very interesting.
So is there anything I should like?
Basically, you'd be looking for like white balls of light. Would probably be the like you're gonna see an insect
like,
go by, and
yeah. So like a lot of times I'm seeing like when somebody walks, I'll see not them, but almost like there's like a light or something.
It does have one small glare that I can't seem to get out. So that glare, I look to see if it moves with the camera. Like if I spot it in my spot checks, and I'm like, oh, what was that? And then I go back and I see like it moved with you, then it's definitely a light glare.
So when I first turned it on or started recording and I looked up here, I thought I saw something a little bit brighter. Like I actually like looked to see if maybe one of them turned on a flashlight or something.
So, well, keep in mind it's also going to see everybody's cell phones. So whenever an iPhone goes off, like you're going to see somebody's pocket.
See, like there is that?
It's not moving for me. Like I don't see it move. I mean, I see where you're looking.
But see, I don't know.
But it looks like the glare off that vehicle over there for me. Because it's
A few numbers to tell you that I'm trying to remember. So 33.5. Just got a 91.8. Got a 52 earlier. 25.5. 99.2.
You're getting lots of numbers.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of numbers right there.
Did you hit say 91?
Yeah, I got a 91.8 over there.
I got 4 2 different times, and then I got George. I need it back. I can't.
Alright, Diane, you got anything crazy coming through? Yeah. Shawna, what do you got? Got them all. Holy cow, come over here and tell me those again. What were you asking, I guess, is the first question.
I said, tell me about your babies. How many did you have? What were their names? I got 4, then I got 3, I got George, and I got Fire.
So,
I just got 2.
George is one of the children. There were 4 of them grand total. And the mansion didn't have his fire. So somebody else is out there asking how. So you're getting all the answers on yours. Got it. Welcome to the Nick Show. This is how it goes. I don't make this shit up.
That's free.
Is it? That's why you came to see me.
Yeah.
You guys wanted
I've
a better
still
than the
never-
C
I've
plus
never
tour that
had
you
it,
did
like,
yesterday.
actually happen, though.
Well, hopefully we get a lot more. Everybody back to the answers.
Okay. Alright, I see the glare.
Did you hear that?
Yep.
All right, come on over. Let's kind of go over these answers. So we got a lot coming out of Shawna's device. So Jim, did you end up getting anything out of there at all?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Again, not an easy device to use, but again, when you do hear something that's fantastic, any letters that we need to know about? No. Okay. So just kind of went over. Yeah, we can go ahead and stop those videos, give your hands a break. Also give your ears a break. What you guys are doing with those spirit boxes is not easy. So again, let's kind of cover the answers, and I'll explain how the answers are coming up. Shawna actually got quite a few of the answers of the questions you guys were actually asking. So you guys know, and I'll explain and kind of go through. We did get all the way up to a 91. Was it 91 or 99? Talk to me. There was something I was supposed to write down. What was it? Who remembers? Shawna, did it come from you? Something came through.
You're gonna mark the word.
Constitutional.
Well, that's I don't have to write down.
I was telling him I'm the campus pastor at Charleston Southern University, and I said that, and preacher popped up on there, which is pretty cool.
I think you wanted to note down that he saw the orb the same time she was over in the corner.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that's going to be something I can prove.
What did I write? I don't remember.
So, but that's something I'll definitely remember. Like that's you guys are getting it. All right. So in this particular one, Joe, I'm looking for the initials RI, in that specific order. No IR. That's not going to work for me.
Okay.
All right. So you guys just seen that those tour leaves, so you guys know how big they can actually get. In the event that one comes out of that ivy wall, because some of them cut through that parking lot to get in here, and they have to come up this way, we're just going to split the C's, and I will stop talking. The reason why is I give way different details to this particular piece of history than they do. Again, this is not a campfire marshmallow type of tour, if you guys are getting my gist. So, anything else crazy that was heard along the way from all you spirit box people?
I got sundown down in 22.
22. Bingo. Your baseline in here is going to start at 5 to 7, so anything like 6.5 and higher. And it's only because of the lamp posts around us. So just kind of keep that in mind. 22 and sundown down.
Yeah.
What you heard? Holy cow. We're about to talk about duels, and the dueler we're about to talk about died at the age of 22, just so you know. Interesting. Anybody else got anything? I know we were talking, Conrad, you got nothing? Alright, perfect. And you guys could have listened along the way. I didn't know if you guys were or not. Like, people just look at you weird because you got white noise coming up in your ears.
Yeah, I thought we were doing it here, so.
No, you're good. I should have specified that. My apologies. So, again, all of you cameras are already running, so let's kind of get into it. Again, we all tell the same story, so it's just different with me. Doctor moves, well, this is Philadelphia Alley, so that's what we call it now. It used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. Not all of them. You have to remember that dueling was illegal, so they had to kind of find their meeting spot. This was one of them. We all tell the story of the same duel because we can actually prove that it occurred. Here's how it goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. What was the chuckle for?
We're all from Rhode Island.
Oh. Maybe you're going to stir shit up more than you thought. So, and that's actually part of the RI, so it'll make more sense here in just a moment. But anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all the cash. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells her, Amanda, get rid of this doctor. He's just after your cash. Dr. Ladd comes to Charleston to prove that he's not after Amanda's money. By the way, for those of you spirit boxes that are listening, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. We get it here all the time. It's part of the doctor's name, Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd, just so you know. Anyway, as Dr. Ladd's coming into town, the coachman that was bringing him in set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his stay here, but somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen, so he stopped the whole thing, and his name was Ralph Isaacs, by the way. There's your another RI. That's the reason why we actually have that device, because we were getting the letters RI on other spirit boxes being spoken through by a DJ. It was the weirdest thing. But we need a secondary clue because it's two different characters. I need to know which one it belongs to. So anyway, Ralph Isaacs tells the doctor, don't stay here. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got some friends at 59 Church Street. You can stay there, rent a room, and you'll be safe and good to go. Dr. Ladd took him up on the offer, and they became friends. The longer the doctor stays in Charleston, the more money he's making with his new medicine practice. So he's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money, and Amanda gets wind of this. She's moving down so they can get married. Dr. Ladd now knows he's going to be finally proving his point. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. I'm going to stop there. Every haunted city you're ever going to visit in the future will have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. I'm just going to put it out there right now. There is proof, and I'm not just saying that because you're in front of me. I'm going to talk about it in just a second. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. They talk about the plays on the way home. They go see Richard III one night from Shakespeare, and they're arguing over the new actress that was in town. Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It gets very ugly. They go their separate ways. Ralph has friends here. He goes to the newspaper, puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society, you jerk, kind of mentality. The doctor saw the ad, rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this, and somebody's going to die. So, they come down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot. He didn't want to kill his friend, which is often what happened at a duel. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery. You guys get it, right? So Ralph, his is one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doctor didn't die, but Ralph proved his point that he's still pissed off and he's not willing to forgive. Dr. Ladd dropped to the ground, his friends picked him up, carried him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment. I want you to remember, this guy's a doctor. Gunshot wounds were not the same in 1786 as they are now. He was probably just trying to bleed out the lead poisoning himself, and well, he died from that gunshot wound on November 2nd, 1786. Every tour that comes down here will tell you to listen for the whistles. You don't have to do that with me. Why? We're recording everything. We got my audio voice recorder, and we have 3 cameras running right now. So if you're going to come down here on your own and go all the way through the alley, which I can't take you because I've actually been kicked out of here. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. So if you go down with your voice recorders, just keep in mind every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street throws a whistle down the alley. We all do it. I do it every single night on my way back to my garage. We pass it on the way here. So again, it is one of those pieces, just don't be fooled. It is going to be very faint. The fun thing for you is we're using spirit boxes. We have caught whistling parts of songs, that just the whistling solo in songs as we're in here on the spirit box recording, and the word whistle by itself. So again, just like we had the word constitution, that's very specific, we have caught the word whistle. So here's how I got booted out of here. Here's the fun part of the whole story, because it tells you exactly where we're going, somewhere next. Before that, do we have anything weird?
I just got intelligent spirit.
Intelligent spirit. Anything coming up on yours?
I got either hail, free antioxidant, and potassium.
Okay.
2 separate words.
Oh.
Anti.
And then, gotcha. Anybody else hearing anything? You guys been too focused?
I heard the name Jeremiah. I don't know if that means
That name keeps popping up. I don't know what it means yet. I can't find it. But Jack is relevant to our next space. It's bleed over. So, perfect example. Part of the reason why we're just here to stir things up and not spread out is because I'm going to expect to bleed over from this space into the next one, which is directly across the street. When we were at the Pinckney Mansion, I expected bleed over from Big John's and vice versa. They're close enough. Even though they're from different centuries, we still see bleed over from the ghosts from either space. The reason why we're here is just to talk about this doctor, and hopefully he's going to give us a lot more answers. You're getting bleed over to the guy I'm going to talk about over there, or at least one guy I'm going to be talking about over there. So let's talk about how I got kicked out of here so we can get into why we're going there. Marty's like, man, this guy talked way too fast for me. It just seemed like just that, the jet's there. This alley didn't go all the way through. It was actually cut off this way, about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. Why? Because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. Before it was Dueler's Alley, it was known as Cow Alley. It's kind of the nickname of the place. That means the bricks on this side are older. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There is a full handprint from a slave child at the end of this alley, all the way down at the end, about 14 bricks in from the end, and a couple of fingerprint swipes on the bricks off to the left. I used to go this way because I had a whole different route my first year doing this. So I used to take my team all the way down there, but keep in mind, I treat that brick the exact same way I do a grave. That kid that's the last place you're going to find him. He's not at that brick staring at it in the afterlife. November 26th of 2020, my entire team of 10 is huddled around that brick waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along because I know nothing's going to happen, and it's outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. Yeah, I'm trying to be respectful, and I didn't know I was out of bounds. Yeah, the new owner of the mansion came out screaming. My daughter was on the tour that night, and she thought it was great because Dad's getting yelled at, and we moved on. So the next day was Thanksgiving. I don't work Thanksgiving because I worked in retail management for over 20 years, mainly for Walmart. Y'all can feel my pain right now. I can see it. So I don't do Thanksgiving. November 28th, I talked to my partner that I had at the time, and I basically told him what happened. He's like, dude, you can't go down that far. You can only go down halfway. You got to reroute the group. I told my group, we're going to reroute. However, I don't believe in the next story because nothing has ever happened to me down at that location, and I've never had anything come up. I just told them we were going to be investigating pirates. And I told them I didn't get into pirates because I'm a vampire guy. So they got the point. Now, I didn't tell them who we were going to be investigating. So somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box, just the same way you heard the name Jack. We're going to be discussing Anne Bonny at the next location, the famous female pirate. So again, most people think pirates, they go straight to Blackbeard or something along those lines. Yeah, we're going to watch a couple past through. Just come through. But I was kind of excited, but at the same time not. Remember, I'm a vampire guy, so not a pirate. I got you. Thanks. So we get down there. I told what little bit I was able to research that quick day to try to put a story together for my tour, and somebody else heard the number 300 come out of their spirit box. Totally different person. I don't know what it means. I write it down. I researched the next day. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was on November 28th of 1720. So we were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. Yeah, that's why I keep taking you guys back up there at night after night in hopes that we're going to find something. Here's the thing about the space. It's a hit or miss. Anne Bonny is said to be seen all over town. I'll explain exactly why we're there at the very top of our history portion of this, but we will be able to spread out, but we will stay the hell out of the way of all the other tours that are going to be around us. So again, we're getting into the more popular part of the ghost tour type places. But we will get relevant answers to the Dr. Ladd story while we're over there. We just don't know because you're focused on me. Before we leave, the gate behind me, another reason why we stopped here. Another little piece of history of Charleston for you. This was, remember that the alley didn't go all the way through that way? If there was a loser to the duel, this was the shortcut to get over to the cemetery behind the wall over here. So instead of dragging the body all the way down to Queen Street and back down and around, it just stalled going to celebrate with the winner. So this was a shortcut. The wrought iron just wasn't there, but the original archway is. So I always like to point that out because not many people know why this archway is actually here. It's a very interesting little nugget of history, and I call it the Death Gate. So it just makes it fun for me. So for those of you with cameras, by all means, if you want to continue recording, you're going to be discreet while we pass by that group and as we're walking up to it. But again, we're going to have Blair Witch Project along the way. But we're going to go up near the Powder Magazine, and we're going to go right past the St. Philip's Church. It will be in view for all of you picture takers. I know you guys most of you are on vacation, so I'm not offended when you guys whip out your own cameras. And again, hopefully that full moon will land somewhere in that picture. You're at 99% tonight because last night was the full moon. I do keep track of your moon phases. That is in your analysis notes tomorrow morning. Let's go learn about pirates. Arr, let's do this.
Nothing there.
I'd say let's talk more about dueling, but the rule book is kind of crazy too. So I don't know much about dueling.
What happened at like 11:30 an hour. Drunk on her tour, like not she got them drunk, but something's happened, right? And so she
Is her dad? basically past that second tree this way. So anybody hear anything, see anything crazy that I need to know before we get into this one? All right, perfect. Honestly, just you're like the quietest man I think I've ever met in my life. So we're going to be discussing that little tiny building over there. Those are not crossings, by the way. Those are earthquake bolts. We talked about the earthquake of 1886 on top of this. Earthquake bolts are basically turnbuckles. So in a nutshell, if we have another earthquake, which we haven't, by the way, of that magnitude, it was a 7.3 based on the amount of damage, but you could turn the turnbuckles after the earthquake and it will stop the building from incurring any further damage by tightening it up. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. So we just have them all over town. It's just part of the Charleston charm. I bring these ones up specifically is because it is actually part of the reason why we're here. That's the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. Why? That's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. We're here because this is what I call a familiar. So for those of you that watch the TV shows and you see that they use a teddy bear to try to attract a child ghost, it's because it's familiar. This building is something that Anne would recognize because she was coming to America at the same time that this building was being constructed. We don't have many buildings in Charleston this old. That's why we're here. That's why it's a hit or miss, because she might be at one of the other ones. If you're kind of getting what I'm going at, it's going to be kind of a rotation. But fingers crossed is that we're going to get stuff, and with the name Jack coming through, you're going to see how that's relevant right away. So, well, we're all adults here. I can make jokes about the government. That building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Because it is a government building. So our story begins right in the middle of its construction. So I already told you it was finished in 1713. So let's go back to 1708. A young lady named, again, it's going to have to follow on this one. There's a lot of twists. It's pirate lore and it's a female pirate. She's badass. So it's going to move around a bit. So, young lady named Anne Cormac comes here from Ireland. She's with her dad and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you guys with me so far? Okay, lots of head nods, good. 3 of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How pissed was she that they got to leave the country in 1708 with no airplanes? Just saying. Brought your lady with you, be kind to them. So, again, I just make that point. You got to see me in Women's History Month. I'm a big hit. With Eliza and Anne Bonny, yeah, I'm a big hit. Anyway, so they land in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation, but Mom died really quickly. That means he's got to send young Anne down here to sell anything from the plantation to kind of keep things afloat, hence the familiar building. Let's go back to Ireland for 1 second. Anne, when she was 7, 8, 9 years old, the rumor is that she killed one of her servants with a knife to the belly. So again, we're talking pirate lore, by the way. So again, 7, 8, 9 years old. It's a roundabout because it's pirate lore. Everything we're about to discuss about Anne came from a minimum of 2 resources. I've read more damn books on pirates than I ever wanted to in my entire life trying to piece this together. So, fast forward. Building's done in 13. By 1715, pirates are coming through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. Why? Because she's going to fall in love. It's a man's world, and she wants her freedom. So, first guy she falls in love with. I said first because there's a handful. We're going to go over all of them. So, first guy is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going, right? Because we mentioned her pirate name. Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormac is now Anne Bonny. Now, when they got down to Jamaica and they got married, she realizes that James Bonny is not Captain Jack Sparrow like what she was hoping. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. He's a coward. This is not who she wants. She falls in love again. This is John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. So, this is the guy that they based your Johnny Depp character off of, just so you guys know who this person is. They usually see the ear perks, like, oh, okay, now I got it. Johnny Depp, cool. So, this is the guy, and she's going to stick with him. He's got his own ship and his own crew. Anne wants to be part of that crew. You can't put a girl on a pirate ship. Who knows why? Keep it family friendly, by the way. Anybody know why? It's bad luck. So, I get a lot of dirty answers to that, just so you guys know. But anyway, he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like the crew, you can be part of it, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this. Why? Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. So she gets it. Let's do this. We're a pirate. Put 2 and 2 together. We're all adults here. She's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a female, and then they're going to vote Jack off the ship as captain. He drops her off in Cuba before she starts to show her pregnancy. Have the baby here. Come back later. We'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to that child, by the way, and none of my research has ever been able to find it. So, the irony part of the story is that she comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack angry, because now everybody's going to know he let a girl on the ship, and they're going to recognize her. While she was away giving birth, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. she's going to go flirting because that's who Ann is and make Jack even more mad. We're on guy number 3, in case you lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. So now we have 2 females on the same ship trying to be pirates. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. So, her and Mary become friends, possibly lovers. You're never really going to know for sure, but the British find out where they are. They send a fleet of ships to take down one pirate ship. The rumor here is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1 bullet flintlocks. Obviously, they're not going to do very well because they probably don't know how to use the cannons yet. They haven't been pirates for very long. They get arrested, obviously, because they're not going to take on a whole fleet of ships. And as they're being arrested, she looks at her captain in bow, Calico Jack, and she says, "Jack, I'm sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't have to be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up here a lot on your spirit boxes, by the way. So the judge wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried to hang Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're gone. Anne and Mary go in front and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves. The judge doesn't give a shit that they're female. He's still going to hang them because they're still pirates. So, "We plead our bellies" was the last thing they screamed out because you cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. He sends them both back to jail for delays to hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina. He bails out Anne, brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary. We don't know his name either, by the way. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Another ripe old age for the 1700s, just so you know. Mary Reed dies a couple of months later, to be quite honest, a year later, but really looking at the dates, it's about 5 months from in that Jamaican jail, from whatever they die from in a Jamaican jail. Most books would tell you that it was something very simple like fever. I'm going to say bullshit. It was probably romantic and scurvious. So let's just go with scurvy, right? We're talking pirates. So I only left out 2 things out of all of the things we just discussed. We have a lot of clues here, but the 2 major things that I normally get answers to are the names of Anne Bonny's parents. So that's the father and the mistress. So I left those out on purpose so you had something to work with. I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship. So that's another very specific question. You can always ask about like what city she lived in Ireland. We've gotten that answer. What color her hair is. That's a simple answer. The answer is red. So again, you can ask whatever you want to here. This is not a prominent English woman. Know your ghost. So poke the bear a little bit. Let's get her talking. Again, this is a hit or miss location. I'm going to know within doing 1 round robin with all of you guys if we have something going on. I'm hoping with the jack that we had from there that we actually are going to get a lot more. Has anybody heard or seen anything since we've been standing here? Very vague.
I got George.
George again?
Yeah.
You and George.
I heard. I loved her.
You loved her? Or
I loved her.
I loved her. You're going to get a lot of love questions. Common songs that you'll hear here. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And Material Girl. They both show up here a lot. And yes, it's her playing tricks with us. Like, she likes to have fun, obviously. So again, it's okay to poke the bear, but you can, use some curse words. She's not a prominent English woman. You're getting my point. Again, this is a fun space if we get the right answers. So you got the gist of yours, Nico, so I don't have to go over things. Have I screwed up anybody's name too harshly just yet? I think I got you all down, by the way. All right, perfect. All right, scram. Let's have some fun. Get to work. We're going to stay within the lot.
Is just the same thing?
I would say anything about 2.5 in this location in the back half, I would be somewhat excited about.
I can still have it.
I had a 3 earlier then.
You hit a 3?
Yeah.
Nice. No way. That's kind of actually my expertise here. If you're here, when I get called to other teams, love song. Love song?
think you need to go over by Seth. Seth, the guy with the beard.
Oh, it's just over there.
He seems to be getting activity.
That's your first time with that. Shawna, you got anything? She can't hear me. You two got anything going with you? You the last recording? Something like that. Right. Yeah.
Jay, get out of the way. What is that thing?
Everybody's tall.
Super tall. And then once in a while you get something else in the hand. There it is. You see it? It's been there the whole time. As soon as I turned around, it was there.
Same arm position and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if it's not moving around, like it's like elbows bending, those kind of things, that's usually what I'm looking for. Different arm movements. So if you have somebody over there, and Bonnie, I want you to raise your right hand for us. We can actually see you. Please raise your right hand. So what he's probably doing at this point is probably picking up the different points. This is a depth perception. So you have the depth of the brush above your head. You have the depth right here and 5.2. And that's taken out. So you have a 5.2. So it looks like it's just picking up points of the depth perception. I would say walk slowly towards it.
Have you got anything?
No.
Focus on what it's picking up. 5.2 is anomalous here. You've probably already seen main zeros, and like up to like 0.1 or 2, you know, kind of mentality. So to get a 5 is pretty good stuff. Yeah, like this last for a moment, 5.3. Anything coming up out of yours? Not really. Looks like we need a reset. Possibility. It's a great possibility. I mean, it's a 50-50 shot. We just don't know. Yeah. So, just gonna give him that baby away. What do you? Oh, she got coming out of yours. Anything?
No, I think you were with me when we heard those.
Okay. All right. So nobody's giving me anything super specific. Obviously, Diana's debunking things is a good thing. So I say we don't have a whole lot going on.
Do you hear anything? Do you hear anything?
Not that I can. Let's go over to this wall, everybody. So nothing like super exciting. We did hear about, what was the phrase that I said that came out of yours?
No way.
Was it no way? Yeah,
no
thank
way.
you.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Again, vague stuff, but the fact that we heard anything out of his device is always oh my god, what did we just hear? We did get a 5.2, which is anomalous. Did you debunk the points that I referenced, like I said, or was it
It kind of ended up going away. Like it was smaller, like PCer.
Okay.
And then
So the nice thing about all these videos, I always take screenshots of what I'm looking for, like when I'm investigating it, and I'll lighten it up so I can actually see what's behind it, make sure it's not a tree or a sign or those kind of things. So again, I was looking at like all of the different layers from your angle, and that's probably what's going on, more than likely. I will also tell you that with Marty's camera, this is the spot where I captured the largest orb I've ever seen or caught. And it was intelligent, so it was bigger than my head. I was displaying how to use laser grids, and it came up behind me, turned, like you can see a circular turn, and go up and dissipate. So I mean, it was amazing. Caught it the next day. So it wasn't a real-time moment. So it was very interesting. So the fact that you were getting something over here, I was kind of like, all right, maybe you have something going on. So, and by the way, he's like the perfect cameraman. I keep forgetting Marty has a camera. He's standing so damn still. So let's go over the answers. Oh, by the way, we did get the word flowers. I'm going to explain that a little bit further if somebody else gets the other term of the specific flower that I'm looking for, and it is relevant to the jewelry. So I'm kind of interested to see that. Did I tell anybody else that was excited about something? Okay. I thought I caught them all. Yeah, flowers is one of them, for sure. This is one of the few pictures you can find of Anne Bonny with a shirt on. You can point that out. The reason why is because she used to bare a breast to show men that they were just killed by a woman. I told you, she was badass. So we're talking female pirates here. So obviously her hair is red, you can see that. The names of her parents were William Cormac, Mary Brennan. This was not another subliminal trick of two different Marys in the story. We just happen to have two Marys in the story. So that's a whole other scandal, by the way, because Mary Brennan was one of the servants for the Cormac family. That's another 30-minute ordeal that we're not getting into tonight. So you can see how much research I have to do. And normally what's funny is the names William and Mary will come out of one spirit box from one person, and it comes as one phrase. So Shawna may have come up to me and said, are the names William and Mary mean anything? Because I heard somebody say William and Mary. That's how that normally shows up. It's very interesting. Calico Jack. I always show you what he looked like because everybody wants to see what they base Johnny Depp from. This is Calico Jack. Called that because of the jackets that he wore. He's the British captain that he killed. His father was a tailor, so textiles were very important to Calico Jack. Calico Jack basically translates to the phrase fancy jacket. That's where the name comes from. The name of his ship was called the Kingston. And don't expect the word Kingston to come out of any of your spirit boxes besides Jim's, because it picks up more disembodied voices than the rest of yours. So the word king would actually suffice on any other device. We have to mix our tech with what we're actually looking for, so when it does pop up, it's very interesting. One of the first nights that we actually used Jim's device, because again, I change these up all the time. I'm wrapping things up. It was a really late night for that group. They're almost like shoulder shrug, like, is he done talking yet? Because again, the activity was really light. And I'm packing it up, and I take that device, and it says pirate, plain as day. We all heard it. It was craziness. Now, the cool thing is, yours doesn't record. The person using the thermal imaging camera was standing right next to them. He had the audio on that. And I'm a guy who studies English and phonetics. It was not like the Pittsburgh Pirates won the game. It was pirate, like I'm a damn pirate. So very cool stuff. I was very excited about that. To me, that's definitely a disembodied voice. There's no way for me to prove it because there's no recording for me to look at radio signals. But again, when it comes through that way, I have to look at the sound. Now, this space in particular is one of the reasons why I give you that heated warning. Not just because of EMF from the Pinckney Mansion site, but here's a quick little why I see weird stuff. A year ago, this past September, I brought my group to the back, just like where we started, and the kid next to me, I say kid, he's probably 21, 22 years old, he starts to drop, like he's ready to pass out. The temperature was actually cooler than what we are now. So I'm picking him up by his armpit so he doesn't hit his head on the ground. His boyfriend picked him up from the other side of him. We brought him over here to sit down. I got him a bottle of water, he's feeling better. I then told them the story of Anne Bonny. They don't know the story yet. I spread everybody out because this used to be my last stop. We still have one more to go. Everybody's out playing with their devices. They pull me aside and say, Nick, we have to tell you, we are two transgender males. I had two females dressed as males on my tour, just like Anne and Mary in the store. This is the weird shit that I see that I can't explain and say, I need to know if you're not feeling well. So you guys get the point. The readings that Nico was getting at the Pinckney Mansion site, I guarantee you if we had a psychic that practices every day and they came out on this tour and we had that reading, they're on a gurney going to the emergency room. The funny thing is, they don't tell me until they're on the gurney. By the way, I'm a practicing witch. Thanks. So it's kind of, I get it all the time. So again, I would say at least 5 or 6 times a year, I'm calling paramedics. So I went to CPR class, like the first time that happened, freaking out, going, oh my God, what did I sign up for? You know, because I'm teaching people how to do this. So again, I don't give them spirit boxes, it's too many messages.
Rhode Island.
Is that what it just said?
Oh, yeah. What?
Rhode Island.
Like, plain as day.
Yeah. All 3 of us.
Holy shit, that's a good one. Like, who else? You still recording? Bingo. If you break those, I got more. Don't worry. Again, they're like a quarter a piece in bulk. We're good. I got you covered.
Yeah, these two seem familiar. I think I bought these for students.
All right. Most of you don't seem to be watching like the television shows and those kind of things. Am I right? You guys watch some of them.
I do, yeah.
All right. So
Into the flower. I heard dozen. Was it a rose?
it was a rose.
I heard dozen.
The reason I bring that up, and the reason I'm going to bring it up now. So the house that Dr. Ladd lived in, 59 Church Street, is known as the Thomas Rose House. Where we're going next is 0.3 miles away from that house, and we've been getting even clues to the house, not so much the doctor, but the house at the next location. So we get it here because of obviously the doctor story, but we're getting closer to where he lived. I can't take you there because it's in the neighborhood. You guys get the point. I'm not getting kicked out of any more spots today. The next space that we are going to go to is about 2.5 blocks from here, just so you know. And we're going to be conducting an Estes method. So I'm going to be volunteering Seth to take care of this, only because he's probably seen it before and probably knows how this goes. In essence, it's a sensory deprivation test. I'm going to blindfold him and put noise-canceling headphones over top of his earbuds, and we're going to talk to him as if he were the ghost, and he's not going to know anything about the history. So basically, Tegan and Seth are going to sit on a bench, look at him freaked out. He's like, oh, man, like, I didn't know you were going to put me through all that. So again, this is something new that we've been practicing with. It works really well or works really bad. So again, I can't make things happen well. They just happen if they do. So again, we'll be using spirit boxes at the same time that we have him under. But we'll also be huddled around him pretty closely because the other tours that walk by, they don't need to see him blindfolding people in the middle of the city, in the middle of the park. So sometimes I get like the teenage girls that volunteer for this. I'm like, yeah, I'm not real sure about that. Like, that just doesn't look good. So again, we're going to volunteer. If you get a little weirded out by me doing this with you, just let me know and we'll hold somebody else. So any other major questions about pirates? Because I could probably answer them with all the dozens and dozens of books I've read on these damn pirates that I had to be pissed off about reading about them. Reason why is because my ex-wife was into pirates. I'm a vampire guy. So when pirates came up, I'm like, can't get away from them. So we're in Charleston. All right, you guys ready to learn about this bloody author? All right, let's do this. You can definitely listen along the way. Let everybody look at you weird. That's cool. Okay, so what we're going to do when I come back, I'm going to take the spirit box and I'm going to stop it and start a whole new recording so that way they know what you're hearing. Okay. So basically, in a nutshell, they're going to hang out here for just a few minutes. I'm going to give him his blindfold so he can get used to how to open it and all of that stuff, because again, it's a throwaway. Eye wax is gross. I don't want that. That was a joke, everybody. Eye wax is eye boogers. Would that be for?
I do.
So basically, again, disposable. So you're going to have to rip it open. And it opens and folds, and it's 2 ply. So you lift up in the center, and there's a tear space in the center, so you can make 2 loops to open your ears. Get used to that. You don't need to put it on until you come back over. The noise canceling, both of them. Okay. I'm just giving it to you now while we will talk about the history real quick. Just how these guys move, so they open up this way. So they say something. All right, everybody. Let's go learn some history about the space, and we'll come back and we'll blindfold this guy.
I got it.
Alright, so this space, I would say this is brand new, so I've only been here since November, which means I've learned it. This is not going to be a 10-minute story like what we've been doing everywhere else. It's going to be brief so we can get to work on blindfolding him. First time I ever came in here, by the way, this is a very cut-through type ghost tour place, so you guys get the gist with your cameras. But anyway, first time I came here was with only 2 people. We were just testing it out. Look around, there's a million monuments. I didn't know what the hell we were going to find. So in a nutshell, the person heard that had a spirit box, the year 1828, and the name Henry, and I was using the word list, wherever that is, actually Tegan has it, and the name Tim shows up on that. Behind me is a bust of Henry Timrod, born 1828. So I went, well, hot damn, there's my ghost. So here's his story. It's very quick. He was sick for most of his life. Obviously, being born in 1828, he's old enough and wants to go fight in the Civil War for the Confederates. So he goes out to the battle. His comrades realize he's too sick to fight. They also know he's a writer. They tell him, go home, go be the voice of the war. So he came home and started writing poetry about what was going on in the battlefield. So he becomes known as the laureate of the Confederacy. For us writers, that's a pretty prestigious title, just so you guys know. He has a son a few years after he comes home. You guys are going to know the name of the son, his birthday, and how old he was. He is not. The son's name is Willie. He was born on Christmas Eve and died 9 months later on October 23rd. So very tragic death, obviously. With Henry mourning, him and his wife both, 2 years go by and his buddy calls him up from college and says, I realize you're not writing and publishing as much as you're supposed to, which means your cash flow is getting low. Why don't you come up to my cottage in Columbia, finish working on the piece you're supposed to, and get back to work. So he leaves his wife, Katie, behind with her parents to mourn, and he goes out to write, and that's where he writes his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality, person of short life, is what that translates to in today's modern English. Then he coughs, and it lands on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. That blood stain looks like a man writing at his desk. We call it the Blood Book, and his entire collection is held at the Charleston Library Society, and they only show the Blood Book 1 day a year on Halloween. You have to be a member of the society to be able to see it, but the internet is beautiful. I'm going to show you what the page looks like, and then we're going to go pose some questions and talk to Seth as if he is Henry. So I'll kind of show you how all of this works once we get over there. Again, very brief with this so that way we can actually get to work with them. I'll go around the horn. You can see the blood. You can read the whole story together. Beholder of brief mortality, person of short life. He coughs, lands on the page, and then he dies on the page, and it stays there forever. So again, kind of a creepy way to end our ghost hunting night, right? So again, this space is the new space, so we're going to see what we can do out of this. And again, I may ask a few yes/no questions, just so you know. This is a space where I can do that, because he's not going to know if I'm asking yes or no questions. I'm going to tell him it's okay to say yes or no's if he hears them. He won't know what I'm asking. So, let's go put him to work. Seems like this is getting crazy, man.
Oh. I thought his name was Tim.
Huh?
I thought it was Tim. All I know is like 9 months, Christmas Eve, October 23rd. I'm not good with names. I'm good with numbers. Dates.
So we are going to huddle in pretty close around him, remember that. So let's go ahead and get in close. So a couple of things. When we put you under, you don't need to shout. Okay. We can hear you. Okay. So we're all going to be pretty quiet. We're all going to be filming you, so you have the entire thing. I will not be taking notes, so that way I can focus on the questions to see how this is going to go. Okay. This is an okay place, an okay style and method to say yes/no answers if and when you hear them. You're not going to know anything that I'm asking. Okay. So again, it's all right to say those things. Right. When I pull you out, which is only going to be after 10 minutes, it's going to be disorienting. It's not going to feel like 10 minutes. Yeah. So when I pull you out, do not get up right away. Okay. It's one of those pieces where I'm taking away senses. You may be disoriented, dizzy, and your eyes will need to adjust even to the darkness of it. Okay. I'm going to have Tegan tap you out, so there'll be a tab on your leg, so be prepared for that. Okay. If your breathing gets too heavy, I will have her tap you out. Okay. You don't need you having a seizure while you're under there, so it can happen, just so you know. This just got really real for someone who did. Like I'm giving him health hazard warnings. Like you're playing a really regular video. It's really sacred. I'm really excited to try this with you. Last night we did a double blind, and it was a total dud. Like nothing happened. We got one term out of it that was kind of like, that's kind of a dud. Anybody have any major questions? You all get the gist of how this is going to work out?
Keep the lamp out of it.
If it's giving them a glare, it doesn't really matter.
So
So again, I'm going to realize that it's the lamp, but I'm still going to have us hug in a little bit tighter because the tours either come in this way or they will come in from behind us. So we don't need to see them a blindfolded person what's going on. For the rest of you with spirit boxes and earbuds, by all means, I want you to continue listening for sure. Sometimes when I'm asking, our ghost questions, the answers go somewhere else, and I've seen that happen. So definitely keep an eye on this guy. I may, after a few minutes, send you out to kind of do a quick walk. We have gotten triple-digit readings in here, so if we're doing well here, I'm going to send you and Dad out to go find something else going on. Fair enough? All right, so blindfold first.
Sweet.
It's not an over the head, by the way.
It's not?
No, you rip it in the center.
Oh, okay, good. You have a big head. I was worried about that. All right.
That's why I bought those.
And it goes over my ears?
Yep. Thank you, Amazon. I have them in bulk. You ought to see my office. That's kind of stupid, guys. I'm just going to put it out there. I got boxes of just bulk stuff everywhere.
You want me to go in?
If I can't hear what he's saying, can you fill me in when we're done?
So the
This
other
one's kinda
piece,
loud.
just listen in.
Okay.
So we're going to move the spirit box. We're going to hand it to Tegan, and she's going to control the volume for you so we know you're not doing it.
Okay.
So the volume is right here, in case you're unfamiliar with that. Put both earbuds in, and then she's going to hand you the canceling headphones.
Okay.
It is 10:50. Oh, wow. I don't time this, guys. We were kind of like right on the dot.
I got hello right when I put that on.
That's why I hand them to you guys ahead of time. Pull them down. Perfect. All right, give them some volume. I usually give them
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Never mind.
Okay.
What is it?
So, yep, you got it. We'll give you the thumbs up.
That's too loud. Thank you.
Give them a few seconds to get acclimated, and then I'll start asking questions. If that becomes too much, Jim, I'll just ask you to go ahead and mute it. Okay, Henry. I got a whole bunch of folks that want to talk to you. You know how this works?
Money.
So we have that box with the red light. You can use it to talk to, this is Seth.
Money.
Money. We know you were poor. You were a writer. I know you were poor. So why don't you tell us something a little bit more specific?
1-8.
Let's talk about your job. What did you do for your occupation? Henry Timrod, what was your occupation? Okay, Henry, let's move on. Let's give us something specific about your family. Can you tell us if you had a son or a daughter?
Christ Jesus.
We are next to St. Michael's Church, by the way. That's pretty common to get religious terms.
Before you moved on to kids, I heard the words.
Heard what words?
No, that, words, author, words.
Oh, got it. Okay, so I guess thank you for the very vague response. If you want to be more specific as we're talking, by all means do so. Notice he didn't say a word as me and Beth were talking. So that kind of happens too. Like if I have a conversation outside of this, they don't talk. It happens all the time. So let's get back to Henry. So Henry, I want you to tell me what your son's name was. I know you had a son. Why don't you give me his name specifically, or something about him that we would know that it's actually you talking to us. Henry Timrod, please tell us something about your son, or if you don't want us or know, we can leave, not poke the bear. Focus. I'm going to continue on with the son. Can you give us maybe his birthday? Anything specific about him? How old he was? The month he was born? The month he passed away? Okay, I want the specific month. The month he was born or the month he passed away would prove that it's actually you talking to us. In about 2.5, 3 minutes. Henry Timrod, please. Okay. Do we want to move on? Maybe you want to tell us your wife's name? Yes, she was a very shy person. This is why we do it for 10 minutes. The first 3 or 4 is really just getting them acclimated to us. He's a very short person, by the way, with a very distinctive mustache. So it's almost like a Raleigh Fingers kind of curl, if you can think of that. So back to Henry. Henry, why don't you give us a family member's name? Give us anything at this point. We're getting clues on other boxes here, but we want to hear Seth say the words.
I keep hearing the Doors playing.
I would need to know the lyrics. We'll have to ask him when he comes out. Henry Timrod, let's get some specific answers, please. We know a few facts about your life. What do you want to tell us? Breathing has picked up a little bit, just so you guys know. Henry, we got some more people coming in here, and I know you don't always. We know you don't always like to talk when there's a lot of people around. Because you're a pretty shy person, you kept to yourself. Spell out over here. Henry, any specific thing you want to say to us, we will take it at this point. Are you shushing me? Are you asking me to be quiet?
The Doors are playing again.
Lyrics I need. Henry.
Crazy.
What's crazy? The fact that we're trying to talk to you this way? You can't look crazy. I understand that. That's why we're huddled around him.
I got listen, and I got it's black.
What's black?
Sacrifice.
Pretty strong term. What did you sacrifice? Tell us about that. Tell us about sacrifice. What does that mean? What was the sacrifice? I mean, I've told you before, I'm reading your work, not necessarily your biography. You've got to give us some details. I've been reading your poetry instead of what people write about you specifically. About 8 minutes. Anyway, we're running out of time. No, we don't keep these folks under for long periods. Thank you for that, but I need to know more. I want something more specific. Reference. You want to tell me about the war? Because that's what you mainly wrote about. What year did you go out to fight in the Civil War?
Because you killed.
I'm not a killer. You're the one who went to the war. What year did you go out to the war? Henry, one last chance. We're going to tap him out very shortly. Looks like he's about to say something. I'd say that was probably a good sign for us to tap him out. What do you think?
Every day.
Yeah, I'm here every day because I'm a busy guy. All right. Henry, on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Tap him. You have every. At the same time, he said every day. You got anything coming out of yours? I know you were kind of in and out. Yeah, go ahead and take it off slowly. Kind of get used to the light around you. How long do you think you were under?
That did not feel like 10 minutes.
It was 10 minutes.
That felt like maybe 2 or 3. Was it really 10 minutes?
It was.
I don't like that.
Like 9.5. You took a pretty big size, so it's kind of like
because you killed was crazy.
Well, we were asking things about the war that he served in.
It went because you killed. That was weird. That one was the weirdest one.
So because I did not start and stop his recording, I'll actually have to segregate the last 10 minutes. So I literally want you to turn the device off at this point. That's the button at the top.
Woo.
So, how do you feel?
Shaky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Told you, it gets a little, can be a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to have you guys do, just because this was, I don't want to say it was a dud, but like very vague stuff. I'm sure you guys can all agree based on what you guys know of the history. So go ahead and, I would say, go ahead and take a lap. I'm going to keep these guys seated here and kind of give them the history that they don't know. So again, turn up those spirit boxes. Just keep in mind that they're all seated down there. As far as the EMF that we found here, we do get triple digits in grassy knolls. I never know where it's going to be, or if we're going to get any at all. So definitely check out the grassy areas for that, and let me know what you find. But I'm going to sit with them for 5, and then you guys come just make your rounds and come back and see us, and we'll wrap this party up. Let's see what we can get out of this.
All right. I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Really looking for Nico, because he's going to be the one that's going to get the most out of this, honestly. So just kind of gave them like the gist of like this was mostly unsuccessful.
Why did we come here for the author?
His bust is right there. And if you want the full like actual storytelling part of it, it's on the regular audio. So it's there for you. So that way you don't miss out. Even though I gave you just the basic gist. For those of you with cameras, by all means, you can go ahead and stop them, and I'll take them from you. Kind of like wrap this up. Wait, not Nico. Look at you.